Hey everyone, it's your brother Zen, your brother from a different mother, and I'm bringing you messages of love from above for the blue full moon in Taurus. So I'm going to give you some information from this great book. It's the Moonology Oracle, and these are the cards that are in there. And you basically have three kind of messages that come with this moon. You know, one, you have the full moon, of course, that's happening. And just a full moon in its own, it talks about in the bottom here, I guess I could show you, is about surrendering to the divine. And a full moon kind of talks about, it's like a turning point, like all the cycles of the moon. It starts from the new moon and goes to the full moon, and so this is another turning point. So, usually the new moon is when you set intentions, and the full moon is when things kind of come to a climax, so the turning point before they start coming back around to the other. So, usually, like a full moon, of course, is known for like this emotional explosion, and it amplifies, everything that we're going through emotionally. So if you're feeling stressed, you probably feel really stressed. If you feel sad, you probably feel really sad. But if you feel full of joy, you feel really full of joy, as well as, if you feel at peace, you feel a deep peace. And if you feel love, you just feel this deep love. So a full moon is something to be aware of. I know, gosh, a week before a full moon, I'm dreaming like crazy, and like real, dreams that seem and feel so real. One thing that the Moonology Oracle, guidebook talks about is how you can attune to the full moon, is realizing that you're getting what you need. And it's like a gift of the full moon, that which I thought I was supposed to make me, happy, peaceful, joyful, it leaves me like the light leaves the full moon. It just feels empty. But we also get the answers that we truly need. Like, for example, maybe we're taught that an elected official is supposed to make sure that I'm happy and I'm safe. But history, has shown me anyway that everyone may have good intentions, but in the end, the external disappoints us. People change, people die, situations never stay the same. And like physical possessions, they either, break, deteriorate, or are stolen. So all those external things end up disappointing those should-bes and, what I thought they should mean to me. But also that disappointment in those external things also turns me inward to where the love, the joy, the peace, and safety are found. And that, is where my answers are found, inside. In addition to, a full moon happening as one of the phases, the moons also go through the zodiac sign. So, through the astrological signs. And so this blue moon happens to be in the sign of Taurus. So that gives us a little more flavor as well. You can see on here, it says your dreams need a practical plan. And what that means is, the additional message this particular moon is bringing us is that we need to find that balance between magic and the down-to-earth steps. So we can be kind of heavenly minded and dream, but we also need to realize we're walking upon the earth and to be grounded. The Moonology Oracle book talks about attuning to this particular full moon in Taurus is we can write down 10 things we know are wonderful about ourselves. And I know that's so opposite of what we're kind of taught. But it's a wonderful awareness to kind of balance us and really see what we feel our gifts are, what we feel our talents are. And I know if I struggle trying to, identify those things in myself, something that has helped me is I look at others that I respect and that I admire, and I go, what about them do I see? What wonderfulness do I see in them? And then I realize that I'm not able to see that in other people unless it exists within myself. So then I look for, how do I have that, kind of gift within myself, that kind of talent within myself? Where can I find that? And that kind of helps us with that. Because with this full moon in Taurus, it's all about getting grounded. It's all about taking some deep breaths and just coming back to the moment. It's moving from all the storms that are going out there and moving into the eye of the storm. And maybe, if it's like, oh, that seems impossible for me, well, maybe just, you have 2 feet, maybe one in the storm, kind of anchoring you while the other leg flails in the storm, maybe, come to that balance between the two, see that there's a storm going on out there, but also know that there's a peaceful eye, within. It's kind of like when there's a big storm happening in the ocean. If you're on the surface, you're getting tossed all over with all the waves. But if you submerge and go deep into the ocean, you don't even know that there's a storm going on the upper top. So, and then every once in a while, the moons go through special phases too, which of course you probably have heard everything going on right now, that this is a special blue moon. And this talks about in here, believe in the impossible. We've always heard once in a blue moon. So, that's, out there, just in our phrases and our statements that we make. But where that comes from is usually we have 3 moons within each of the, equinoxes or solstices. And every once in a while we have 4. And so some people call the blue moon, it's the 3rd blue moon in that season. Or more recently, it's when we call the blue moon when it's the 2nd full moon within a month. So in either case, however you look at that, this one on October 31st is the blue moon. So it's interesting. I was wondering, how often does a blue moon fall on, Halloween, October 31st? And what I found is like every 19 years, just a full moon happens on October 31st, but it's even rarer to have a blue moon on October 31st. And the last time, according to the Farmer's Almanac, it was 1944. So it's really just a special, 2020 has been a very unique, interesting year. So no wonder, that this blue moon is happening on October 31st. And what that does, just around this particular full moon, around October 31st, the veil between the earth and the heavens is, even more thin than usual. So it's very thin right now with it being a blue moon. So, one of the things that mentions in that Moonology book is to tune to the blue moon is just to realize I'm lucky, and to focus on even the gratitude for what is happening in our lives instead of looking at what we're not having. And also while the veil is very thin, we can be still and we can listen with our physical ears, but with our spiritual ears. Our loved ones want to talk to us, the invisible loved ones, those who've lived here and have passed, our angels, our guides, our ancestors, and most excitingly, the creator of all things wants to speak with us as well. They're all, here to speak messages of love to us. And so now, what I'd like to do is kind of look at, pull some cards just on the messages of love from above that they might have for us. So I thought what I would do, I'm going to pull a variety of different cards. I'm going to pull some cards from this Queen of the Moon Oracle, and we'll see what comes through on there for us. What I might do is kind of pull these down to the bottom here. There we go. All right, what messages do you have for us for this blue moon, this special moon? And these would apply for anything, going on between now and the new moon. That'll be in a couple weeks. So just what messages do you have for us? And I'm going to go ahead and take this one since it's sticking out here. This one is the Fear card. Go ahead and put that right there, and I'm going to read from the little book here just briefly to see what that is. And that's number 11, which is a master number. And this is so fitting for us, with what's going to be happening in the next couple weeks with our elections and everyone fearing what's going to happen if my candidates don't win. And oh my gosh. So it says the time for courage is here. Fear is only useful if it teaches you something. You must examine whether your fears are old or new, useful or unhelpful. Fear blocks flow. If there's one thing that stops people from fulfilling their dreams or even getting things done that they want done, it's fear. Experiencing fear is built in. It's a chemical part of the way our brain works to protect us. Emotions such as fear cause the production of a whole raft of body chemicals that give us the best chance of coping with situations that need our attention to survive. And I think that's all I'm going to read out of those there, because I really feel just intuitively, the message that it has. There's a cage here on there, and there's all these birds flying outside of the cage, and this fear has all these strings attached to all these birds. And so all these, I kind of feel like these are all the thoughts. These are all the fear thoughts that we're holding on to. And we're trying to, cage them and put them away. But really, we can just let go of these strings and just let those thoughts go. And, like I mentioned before, just with the full moons, it's being amplified. All our fears are being amplified. And it's an opportunity to take, a deep breath and take a step back and just really look at, what are these thoughts of fear? What am I really fearing? What are I feel all these external things mean about me, Sure, I can cast my votes and my opinions about who I think should be in office or should be leading our country or making decisions like our laws and, all that stuff. I mean, we can get so caught up, and it can feel like, all these birds are flying around our head and it's hard to focus. But if we just take a deep breath and let all those thoughts go, even just for a moment, and just realize what truly matters. Every moment is of unconditional love or the fear of losing conditional love. And when we're drawn outside of ourselves to define ourselves by all those things I mentioned, if I define myself about people, who's in my life and other people's actions or situations that are going on or things that I have, if I define myself by any of those unstable things, then I'm unstable. because that's all rocky and those things are constantly changing. But if I turn inward for my definition of who I am, like I, over time, have began to define myself by the unconditional love the Creator has for me. When I anchor myself to that, then I don't get drawn out into that unstable ocean or drawn up to the surface, where those storms are happening. I'm going all over the place. I'm just like in a submarine in this calm sea of love, just going along, when I look out there, I'm like, oh, look, there's a storm going on out there. But I can stay calm and, I can act out of unconditional love, which can mean, I think that this candidate is going to bring acts of unconditional love to the world, then I can, vote that way and not get attached to the outcome. I can continue to choose how I'm going to act to the world, how I'm going to, send that unconditional love out to the world. So I feel that this is the message that we're getting with that for the next couple weeks especially. Next, I'm going to pull a card from this Return of Spirit deck by Cheryl Harnish. See what additional message we have on that. All right, what additional message do you have for us, Creator? Ooh, okay, this one is popping out as well. This one is the Assistance card. Beautiful blue. I'm going to put that one right here. And I'll read briefly from that deck as well. Before even reading that, I just really feel the assistance is, we're not in all this alone. You're not in your life alone. There's all these wonderful, like I mentioned before, all our angels and spirits and guides and the Creator and all our loved ones who have passed away and come back, they're here with us every moment. And as I mentioned, if we can get quiet and still, we can hear their encouragement. I can just hear them chanting, we love you, we love you, we love you, we're here for you, we're here for you, we're here for you. And so the little book that comes with these cards says we all need a little help at one point or another in our lives. Rest assured, help is on the way for you. There's a huge inpouring of divine and angelic assistance coming to you now. This card appears for you today to let you know that your need for help has been acknowledged. Whether you have directly asked for aid or not, the universe is stepping forward on your behalf. And this assistance can come in many forms. Sometimes it comes in the form of another person. We don't necessarily have to know them personally for them to influence our lives. Through a series of divinely organized coincidences, a complete stranger can make their way into our personal world, providing the help we so greatly need. And at other times, it may be our closest friends who lovingly step forward to assist us. However, we can also experience a sudden shift in circumstances, which occurs for no logical reason. And this can happen to certain individuals who we may be having difficulty with. Either something energetically shifts in them, or we suddenly understand how we are to deal with that person. And no matter how it happens, it is Spirit working in your life. So let this be a fair warning. Help is coming. So don't do something silly, such as say, no thank you, when help is offered to you. Do not let feelings of not being worthy or deserving get in the way. Do not allow your pride or need to be the giver interfere with this divine offering of assistance. You most certainly deserve it. Allow yourself to receive it. Just smile and say thank you. And just as this assistance comes to you, sometime soon, Spirit will call on you to provide a loving hand of help to someone else. Wow. So yeah, perfect. Just a reiteration that we have so much assistance around us that comes, to us, and everything happens in divine timing. One of the wonderful things that, life tells us is that whatever happens in our life, whether we think it's what we wanted or not, it happens for us, not to us. And sometimes we don't get what we want, what we thought is what was the best thing for us. If it doesn't happen, then we can either fall into that fear of, what have I done? Why am I being punished? Why is this happening to me? Or we can go, you know what? I trust that the creator of all things, who has the bird's eye view of past, present, and future, and understands what is best for my experience here, is having his hand or her hand, in everything that's unfolding. And I can trust, God's timing. I can trust God's strings that he's pulling among the earth, and that things are happening and unfolding. And I can fall into fear, or I can choose love and trust. Next, I'm going to pull, this is the Angels and Oracles Died by Kyle Gray, just to see what additional message we might have from the angels and ancestors. Just love that message. We're never alone. We're never alone. Never. And before I pick a card, I really feel also what the Creator's wanting us to know is that, we're never alone for assistance, but we're also never alone in our emotions. Everyone has fears. Everyone, this is a giant amusement park of fear rides. So, on any side of any battle, of any disagreement, of any conflict, are two individuals that are fearing, because a being that is centered in unconditional love doesn't have conflict, because it has nothing it needs to protect, because it has everything it needs within it, and it realizes that. When we're drawn out into our storm by defining ourselves by external things, then we feel the need to protect and to defend. And when we go into fear, we go into fight or flight. So that's when we'll try to protect what we feel is being taken from us. And so when two sides feel that something's being taken away from them and think it's the other side that's taking it away, then that's when, we have that conflict and that battle, and instead of working together, we work against one another. So there you go. All right, what additional message do you have for us for the next couple of weeks? Holy Spirit, essence of the Creator, angels, guides, ancestors, loved ones, what would you like us to know? What will help us find peace and love and joy in the next couple of weeks? Make it really obvious for us, please. Okay, this one's sticking out here. This one's Star Ancestor. It's wonderful there. Follow the voice of your soul. Star Ancestor. The message that comes with this card from the book, it says, heed the messages coming directly from your soul. And it's a term for, just any star ancestors. And it can be, like this book talks about, extraterrestrial light beings who are dedicated to the healing and growth of the world. So, those love energy beings that are out there in higher realms, and they're offering, just this deeper purpose for our human journey. And I love the extended message in this card especially, because it talks about not only were you born on purpose, you were born for a purpose. You were born to be a bright light in the world. And there are supporters out there in the universe sending waves of energy to guide you at this time. So information, inspiration, anything that's been coming to your way recently is not new information, but they're memories. Your feelings of being drawn in a particular direction are the awakening of an aspect of your soul. And you're being drawn toward a road that will not only light you up, but also help you light up your corner of the world. So it says, continue following the cosmic guidance that is coming your way. So really just so much that we're not alone. And what I love is, if you can, take some time, when the stars come out, just to sit out under the stars and just look up. Just feel the presence of the Creator there, and all of the angels and all the expansiveness, and just know that we're not alone. And be that shining little star in this supposed darkness, like they talk about. We've had such a dark year of so many challenges, but we can choose to become very dim and not, be a bright light at all, or we can choose love. We can choose to be a bright light and shine as well. All right. I also want to pull a card from the Angel Guide deck here, just to see what your angels' messages have for you. What additional messages do you have for us? Angels, sweet angels of love, what additional messages do you have for us for this wonderful time? Oh, there we go. No. So I'm going to put that one right there. Let's see what that one has to say there. Before I read what's from the little book, kind of what I'm picking up from, just intuitively from the card, is when we're invited to a fight, you don't have to attend, because it takes two to battle, but you can just remain in a calm place and, oh, is that so? It's as easy as that. Just saying, oh, is that so? And we don't have to try to convince someone that our truth is truer, because do we appreciate that when we share something that we're excited about and someone goes, well, I don't agree with that. And it's like, psst, and attack or defend, or, even with fight or flight, we flee and go, oh, well, fine, I'm going to go away and not talk to you anymore. And just saying, oh, wow. And be interested in hearing how they feel about it. It doesn't mean that you have to agree and say, oh, I totally 100% agree with what you're saying. It's like, oh, wow, how does that make you feel? And, what are you going to do with that? And, oh, okay, wow, I'm very happy for you, The card here, let me see here. So the message for this card is, your angels are drawing close at this time to help you recognize that the answer to the question on your mind is no. This is not the time to proceed. You may want to, but you'd be encouraged to see beyond the current situation and understand that following through on your ideas may have a negative effect on your whole course of your life. So they're swooping in because they want to save the day and save you a lot of heartache from a choice that is not heart-centered. If you're feeling upset or annoyed by this guidance, that's okay. You're allowed to have an emotional response. But in truth, there will be a part of you that already knows that what you're considering isn't the best use of your energy. The extended message says, do not make plans. Do not move forward. Retreat and reflect. Think deeply. Seek the advice of those you love and trust, and ask them to help you get to the bottom of the question or issue or decision that is before you. Do not make any sudden moves. This card is coming in to help you sustain your mental, emotional, and spiritual energy and stay on the road to wholeness. So, and really the big thing that jumped out to me in all that is, being heart-centered. at this time, instead of being mind-centered and focused on what the mind thoughts, are going on, but, draw in and focus on your heart, focus on the love. Right. And then I'm going to pick 3 cards from my Oracle deck I'm working on with the Creator. And we'll see what additional messages, specific messages we might have. All right, what additional messages would you like us to know? Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. I feel like there's one more. Generally they come in 3s, but could be that we're just going to have 2 this time. Oop, that's way too many. All right. One more pass, and if not, we'll go with what we have there. Those didn't really jump out. Okay. So we'll go with these 2 here, which we have Heartbreak and the Crown Chakra Master card. And with this card, it talks about integrating unconditional love, remembering that I am made of unconditional love. The crown chakra is where we find our bliss. It talks about flying in the sky, which the root chakra, which is the fear, where we discover our fears, and we're this caterpillar crawling along, the jungle floor, just worried about our, am I going to have enough to eat? And am I going to live another day? And am I safe? All those human, fear-based emotions that we have. But the crown chakra is when we have kind of gone through and understood ourselves and become that butterfly that's fresh out of the cocoon, flying above the jungle, flying above all the fears and all that. It talks about, I return, I remember who I am, that I'm this powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. That's remembering who we really are. And there's a meditation on here about I am unconditionally loved, and I'll have that linked. I have a 4-part meditation about that we are I am unconditionally loved, I am unconditional love, I unconditionally love the world, and the world is unconditional love. So if you want to check those out, pretty powerful grounding meditations in there that provide some information. But so the crown chakra, this is all about connecting. This is the chakra that connects our human existence to the spiritual world, to back home from where we come. So, just a reiteration, we can choose love or we can choose heartbreak. We can believe that our heart can be broken, and that's what we're taught, and that's what we fear. We either fear that we're going to get rejected and that our heart's going to be broken, that we're going to lose the conditional love that we're taught to look outside of ourselves, or we fear what will happen after death. And, we fear that our heart will be broken again when we stand before our Creator and are rejected by the Creator. But that's what's wonderful, is that this talks about unconditional love. There's no conditions, so we can't lose that love. So, and then I'm going to draw there's a deck, the universe has got our back. So we'll end this reading with a card from that deck, and then I'm going to pull a chakra love card as well. Just some final messages to give us some encouragement over these next couple weeks when our earthly path is most likely going to get rattled a little bit. I think we all know that, and I think that's what we're fearing is the unknown. But what's great, you know, when I've faced in my life the fear of the unknown of what's going to be coming, when I realize that I can't control a lot that happens outside myself, but the one thing I know I can control is how I decide how I'm going to react or respond to whatever happens. I get to define what anything that happens in the external world, what does that mean about me, others, and the world? I decide that. And even though with this heartbreak and all these supposed tos and shoulds and need tos and have tos and, you know, all that supposed to conditional stuff we're taught of when that happens, this is what it means. When that happens, this is what it means. When that person does that, that's what it means. I get to choose if I'm going to maintain those beliefs and thoughts about the world that I've been taught through time, or am I going to choose differently by remembering who I really am, you know, remembering this unconditional love. I get to choose that. Every moment is a choice between unconditional love or the fear of losing conditional love, and I get to choose it in every moment. So this equals anxiety, sadness, instability, you know, all those fear-based emotions. When I choose this, I get unconditional love, peace, and joy. And so I get to choose that. So regardless of what's coming forward in the next couple of weeks, I can find peace in knowing that I get to choose what it all means. No matter what happens, I get to choose. So I don't have to fear it because I really am in control of my little world that's going inside my heart and my mind. So, all right. And what's your final message to us? Creator, universe, Holy Spirit, angels, guides, ancestors, all my loved ones that have passed, and everyone that's here just surrounding us right now, wanting to give us a message of encouragement and love. What do you have for us? What do you have for us? Whoa. All right. Well, I think we need as much encouragement as we can get, so I'm going to take these. It says, my happiness is a direct reflection of my level of faith in the universe. Do I trust you, Creator? Do I trust you? I'm just going to cover all these up. When I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. So I give up and surrender all those attachments to the outcomes of what I think they're supposed to mean. I just blow all those thoughts away like one of those dandelion seeds. Just take a deep breath, exhale, and let it all go. In every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring me toward right-minded thinking and the energy of love. So everything that's happening, everything that rattles my cage is to bring it to my attention that I have a belief of fear around something. And then I get to choose love instead. Hope is the conduit of miracles. I can look at hope as trust. You know, I trust the universe. I trust the Creator. It's never let me down. I'm still alive. That's one big, indicator that I am full of hope and trust in the Creator. Everything's going to unfold for me, not to me. And my faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. What a beautiful card. What a beautiful message. That's pretty much everything I've been talking about. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. That's a great message too, is whatever I focus on is what I grow. I'm always loved that Native American story about the dark wolf and the white wolf. Whatever we feed grows. Whatever I continue to give my energy and my thoughts and my time, that's what grows. That's what becomes larger and larger and larger. And, do I want a giant fearing dark wolf in my house pooping on my carpet? Or do I want a wonderful white wolf made of love and light that just brings wonderfulness and warmth and comfort and protection and safety? I know which one I prefer. I've experienced both. There's nothing wrong with what we choose. It's just what we prefer, what we want to feel. All right. And then finally, I'm going to just pull one card, unless something else pops out, but I'm going to pull a card from this Chakra Love deck. So, final message to us for this wonderful blue full moon in Taurus. What messages do you have for us? Oh, there we go. Confidence. No one will believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. Be your own cheerleader. And what I'm hearing is you can be your own cheerleader here on earth, but you've got a massive, massive core of cheerleaders on the other side that are just cheering you on, cheering you on. You are loved. You are loved. You are loved. You are perfect. You are perfect. You are perfect. We love you. We love you. We love you. I hope this brought a little bit of brightness and love and peace and joy into your moments today. And if it did resonate with you, please share this video with anyone that could use a little bit of brightness, in their day. And if it did bring you a little bit of light, if you click the like button below, that also helps the algorithms of YouTube to help put it out, so it appears out there as a video for people. Also, if you subscribe, that also helps. But also, it'll notify you when I do put out other readings and other videos. You'll get notified too on that. So I wish you all the best, a very happy Halloween. Please know that I appreciate you, I love you, and I wish you all the very best. Enjoy your adventures. You take care.